Hi, this is Jack Stanley. Having one of these nights I'm not sleeping, so I figured I would talk a little bit. And I wanted to talk about the coinage of 1965. Our entire world of coinage changed in 1965. For many of you, you won't be aware of that because for many people, you've only known our coinage to be one way. But before 1965, our coinage was very, very different. We had the penny, the cent. We use that term penny. It's incorrect. That deals with the English money system. The penny, the half penny, that kind of thing. Ours is the cent. And we did have a half cent for a little while, actually, till the 1830s. We had the nickel. Nickel was made of nickel. And that started in the 19th century. We had the dime, the 10-cent piece. It was made of 90% silver. We had the quarter dollar, the 25-cent piece that was made of 90% silver. We had the half dollar, which was the 50-cent piece, made of 90% silver. And of course we had a silver dollar, which was made of 90% silver. I'll give you some examples. This is a dime. It's a silver dime. These you used to get in change all the time. They're called mercury dimes. You had mercury dimes and you had the Franklin Roosevelt dime that came out in 1946. We had quarters, and quarters were the Washington quarter. This is made of silver. You can see the side is all silver. Of course, our half dollars were called Franklins. And that's a Franklin half dollar. And had the cracked Liberty Bell on the other side. And then, of course, you had the silver dollar. When I was a kid, an interesting thing, you would go to parties or affairs for kids. They had parties and stuff like that. And like let's just say on Easter, they have an Easter egg hunt. And I remember doing this, and I remember winning. That you would go into a field and they'd have plastic Easter eggs, and inside the plastic Easter eggs would be prizes and presents, and in some of them would be silver dollars. And I remember winning a couple of silver dollars, and they were what they called peace dollars. This is a peace silver dollar. It's from the 1920s. Of course, the side's silver. And the reason they called them peace dollars, let me see if I can show you, on the reverse side of it, you'll see at the bottom, it says peace, and had an eagle just sitting there with rays of the sun or whatever it may be. You didn't see Morgan silvers, only the peace dollar. And then in 1965, everything changed. I guess it was getting too expensive to use silver. And so a dime started looking very, very different. And what was most noticeable about these new coins, especially to us kids, was on the side of the coin, you would see a brown stripe. Here, let's see if I can do this for you. Yeah. Look carefully, you'll see the brown stripe coming through. And on the quarter, let's see. Whoops! On the quarter, you'd see a brown stripe. And us kids thought that was so cool. And we'd gladly get rid of the old silver ones to get these new ones. Now, what are these new ones made of? The new dimes and new quarters were copper coins coated with nickel, no silver whatsoever. The half dollar was downgraded to 40% silver. The rest was copper and nickel. And of course, the silver dollar, which would come out with what was called the Eisenhower silver dollar, was anything but a silver dollar. It was 40% silver. rest was other metals. In a few more years, the half dollar and the silver dollar would be totally copper and nickel. There would be no more silver in it at all. All of our coinage changed. You know, that's an interesting thing. Of course, our coinage, when it started in the 1790s, it was copper and silver. And then we added nickel, and then we added gold. And by the early 1930s, gold was over with. In fact, the federal government reclaimed all the gold back. And then in 1965, silver was gone from our coins, just partially in the half dollar and silver dollar. But those weren't coins that you would use generally. And it's interesting to note, I wish I had been smarter. I should have taken all those coins and saved them. But I didn't. And a lot of people didn't because we were somewhat naive in those days. It's a long time ago. It's 52 years ago. The world has changed an awful lot in so many ways, if you think about it. In media, entertainment, music, coinage, our understandings of government, our trust of government. So much has changed. So I thought I'd talk about this for a second. That pivotal year, 1965, in which so much changed. Thank you.